question from me. What advice would you give to girls or ladies that are looking to start out in a gym but they mightn't have the confidence to walk into a gym?
I think, honestly, the only people that are gonna like look at you or be like, oh, she's new, are the people that aren't actually confident themselves, and they like kind of seek out someone that knows a little bit less than them, and they're like, there's someone that knows less than me, there's someone that I know I can intimidate, because they're intimidated by maybe people like me or Katie, so now they're going to feel like, oh, now I get to intimidate somebody. So those people that are mean or like snob you or aren't that welcoming, they're the ones that know fuck all, and they're not too sure of themselves either. They don't have that confidence. That's why they're like that, because they don't have any confidence. But me, Katie, the biggest guys ever, they're like always the nicest people, because we have nothing to hide. We're happy with our knowledge, how we train, and we're not afraid of anybody taking our life because we have the confidence. So we're always nice to new people starting, and we're always like, oh great, a new person starting, they're going to get to change around their life, like just like I changed my life, or I'm watching them grow from the very beginning. Do you know what I mean? So it's amazing when we see new people come into our gym, and we always say like, oh, if you need anything, just let us know. That's how you know the nice people. But yeah, there's going to be people that snob you, but they're the ones that just have no confidence, and they're just absolutely delighted that they have someone to intimidate. That's all that is. So ignore them, because you'll go right over their heads anyway. And I just think that you need to start somewhere, and once you start, and once you get into it, you'll never not do it, and then you'll see that same person eventually and be like, I remember you. So there's always going to be those people wherever you go, but there's nothing you can do about it. But smile and wave, boys.
Yeah, I think absolutely. I think just remembering the reason that you're there, and you're there to better yourself. Everyone goes to the gym to better yourself, and you're going to have people that will kind of, look at you funny. Like even for me and Jess, the odd time we get a comment on Instagram about, looking too masculine or whatever. There's always going to be people like that. But when you walk into the gym, you just have to remember, how does it make you feel to be there? How do you feel when you leave? You've done your workout, and when you're walking out, how do you feel? You feel great. Do you really care about that person that was in the corner that was looking at you? And a lot of time it's because, like Jess said, they're insecure. I find in any gym, if someone doesn't know what to do, they're kind of looking at other people to see what are they doing. I'm going to do what they're doing. So you could be setting an example. It mightn't actually be a bad thing. You could actually be setting an example, and people could be looking up to you. So yeah, just be confident in yourself, and like that, everything will come in time.
Okay, Katie, what just happened?
Right, so the woman told us to go park in bay number 2 to wait for our coffees, so that's fine. Go to park in bay number 2, and there's a woman parked in bay number 1 and bay number 2. So I'm like, she needs to fix herself, because I need to park in bay number 2. I reverse. She like aggressively reverses, like is about this close away from my car, and then as she's about to drive off, so she's not waiting for her food either, she's just sitting in the waiting bay eating her food. As she's about to drive off, she turns and looks at me as she's shoving a burger in her mouth. How disrespectful is that? Like, you can't eat your food in the waiting bay. It's a waiting bay. Absolute damn bean. That's what I say.
Someone needs a coffee.
I'm upset now.
And a post-workout.
Yeah, I'm starving. I think I'm a little bit hungry. But she deserved it. No? Deserved what? She deserved to be called bad news.
But she doesn't know what you called her, so it doesn't matter. You just wasted a ton of energy being angry. And now you're probably even more hungry than you were before. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, the amount of water Jess puts in her coke pops is very strange. Like, I have to have, like, not them all completely covered, but just so that there's a nice amount of liquid to, like, mix it up. But Jess puts, like, the smallest amount, so it's like, I suppose it's kind of like chocolate sludge, really, isn't it? Then the amount of water you put in. But yeah, I put a lot more in. So I'm going to stop.
No, I don't. Don't trust anyone.
Here.
Thanks. You have to let it run for a really long time or water's going to be hot.
There's something doing.
You were going to go straight in.
I wasn't.
Straight in, no kissing, she's crazy.
It's not. I feel like it's a nice amount because it's all floaty. Do you know what I mean? Anything else and it's like sticky. Like yours is going to be like sticky. Like that's that's good. Here I go.
That's a little bit excessive. Make sure it's half size full. Yep, that's it.
Kind of like a Rice Krispie.
Yep.
Like a Rice Krispie bun.
Yep. That is how you do it. That's how I like it anyway.
I can see your vibe, yeah?
Yeah.
Makes it more like a chocolate bar.
Yep, third meal. Isn't it? Yep. Third meal. Post-workout. I have 90 grams of cereal. Kaylee has 60. 20 grams in each of whey. And then it's just mixed up with water. So yeah, that's this one. We actually have fruit to go with this, and a lot of people put frozen fruit in it, but I'll just have it on the side.
Okay, so next question is your biggest inspirations. What are your biggest inspirations?
It's kind of cringy, but my dad would actually be my biggest inspiration because he also started from nothing, from the ground up, was kicked down a few times and still just went anyway, and now he has a pretty big business and he started all over again and he's making it, and everything that he ever did I kind of did. Like I was like, I don't know, 5 when he taught me how to do dips off the coffee table, push-ups and stuff, and here I am today. So he actually kind of got me into this when I was really young, and he was into the gym himself and never competed or anything, but just showed me 1 or 2 little things. Has nothing to do with it now, has a gym at home and trains in his own time, but he actually just has a falconry business, but quite inspirational how he did it, just by himself. And yeah, so there's no one that can inspire me more than that guy, so that goes to him.
Nice. For me, again, probably like another cringy one. It probably sounds like I'm just like banging on about Jess the entire time for this, but I think it's because it was my introduction to bodybuilding was Jess say, and I feel like sometimes when I hear other people talking about bodybuilding, I think it's because they're after seeing someone that's doing it, that's going around eating cucumber because they're so hungry and they're starving and they're like, oh, I hate my life and I can't wait for this to finish because I'm going to eat all around me, and I feel like that's a really bad introduction. But for me, I got such a good introduction to it because Jess was able to prep but then still, you know, do things. She wasn't going around starving like a head case, like some people make out prep to be. So I feel like because she gave me such a good introduction to bodybuilding, and to be honest, I've actually just watched her completely 360 her life in the last 4 years that we've been together. Like, I don't even think that we're the same people we are now than when we met. I think we've both changed so much because of bodybuilding, and Jess is kind of, I suppose, the driving force behind that. Like, she's always, get kind of comfortable at times where I'm like, yeah, I'm happy now, just gonna stay doing this thing, but Jess is always, we can be better, we can do better, you know, you can do better. So yeah, I think if I could prep and be half as good as bodybuilder as she is in the future, I think I would be very happy without sounding ridiculously cringy.
It wasn't cringy though. Thank you.
Okay.
That was done nicely.
Do you want to do the next one?
Yeah, I think they kind of go hand in hand.
Yeah,
anyway.
so that one is like kind of what keeps us motivated, and I feel like that's kind of the same thing. Really.
Yeah.
They kind of.
Well, no, I wouldn't even. I don't. That question, what keeps you motivated? Jesus Christ! If I was to depend on motivation, I wouldn't even do this. That's completely honest. I wake up most mornings, and if you think I wake up motivated, you're like, there's no, like, I wake up in the morning and I'm like, oh, like, another day it is. Like, I'm not even, and that's, like, if you had to rely on motivation to get you out of bed in the morning, get you to fasted cardio and prep all your meals, and when you're tired, stay awake, and when you're hungry, don't eat, you would lose so bad. You would go down a very deep hole very, very quickly, because you cannot depend on motivation when you're prepping, or even as a lifestyle client. Do not depend on motivation, because it's not possible. You just have to learn how to discipline yourself, and when you don't want to do something but you know you have to do it, you do it anyway. Like, do not under any circumstances rely on motivation, because Jesus Christ, some days it's just not there, and what happens that day? You just don't do it because you don't feel motivated. Like, that's ridiculous. So sometimes you just have to pull yourself together, and it's like shit or bust, and take your shoes off and give it socks.
For sure, yeah. I think, not relying on motivation, but I think that the people that you surround yourself with, like for us, our friends, like we're in a really nice environment right now, atmosphere, even like, you know, with the lads in Goldstone, and then also with the lads in the lab, we're constantly kind of back and forth to each other. But I even find if, you know, I wake up and I'm kind of having a shit morning, I don't really feel like doing it, and then you get a client check-in and they're after absolutely smashing the week out of the park, like they push us on as much as we push them on. So I think being an online coach and seeing people do well all the time as well, that definitely does give us a little bit of motivation.
True, yeah. Dash away your salt. Like 3 grams per meal, usually about 15 grams per day. If not, you get a fucking terrible headache and slightly dehydrated. We were talking about this actually in the last video as well, about Hydra Max and just having enough salt and sodium. But if you like count it up properly, and you know there's enough in your meals, then it's cheaper than extra supplementation. So before you buy any supplements, just make sure that there's enough salt, not sodium, salt in your meals first.
So this is meal number 4. 4? 4, yes. I have 100 grams of chicken and 40 grams of rice. And that's kind of it. What you got?
150 grams of potato, greens, 100 grams of chicken, that's pretty much it. Second, so we're not going to record the rest of our food today because it is really late and we want Don to get home at some point. So
I'm chilling.
So after this meal we both have steak with no carbohydrates. You don't have steak with your carbohydrates, do you?
No, I just have 100 grams of steak.
Yeah, so the next one is just steak. 100 grams of that. last meal, again, no carbohydrates in the last meal. It is just yogurt and whey.
Yeah, I don't.
So nothing very exciting, really, is it?
No, I don't have any whey in my last meal either. I just have 250 grams of yogurt. That's it. No whey for me.
No way.
No way.
No way.
So yeah, that is our day of eating wrapped up. Our food is pretty simple right now, and it's low as well. So nothing exciting to report really. Very different to our off season. So yeah, I think that's absolutely everything.
So they should.
Like and subscribe the video. I feel like that's your part.
No. Can we do something really quick?
Go.
Okay.
Will I sit down for this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Strongest and coolest out of the lab boys. And if I answered this question, I wouldn't be able to sleep. I had trouble sleeping last night going like, how am I supposed to answer this question? I just can't. I love them all for different reasons. Do you love them all?
I love them all too. They're all my boys.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful here what you say, okay? The pressure is on.
I just feel like no matter what slagging Liam gets, I'm not saying Liam is the weakest. I'm just saying, Liam, you just remember you are the best at the pole dancing. And if you haven't seen that video yet, just check it out. Liam is the best at pole dancing, so anything else goes without saying. Dan?
So you're basically saying Liam is the weakest?
No, I'm just
But
saying
he's best at the pole dancing.
he's the best at the pole dancing.
Okay,
there's no negative, just a positive.
Okay. So who's the strongest?
Again, I just have trouble.
Choose anyone, not Liam.
It's like animals, like your pets at home. You're not going to mention.
So the lad boys are your pets at home.
No, I'm saying like you would never. If I said to you choose between Olivia and Kai, you wouldn't be able. That's how I feel about the guys.
So you're comparing the lads to a bunch of dogs in our house, and we have to pick one.
We're not dogs. We're family. It's different.
So who's the strongest? we figured out who the weakest, but is the best answer. So that's Liam.
Yeah. I can't say.
Okay, I'm gonna count down from 3, and you're both gonna say it together before
my
we close the
God.
video. Okay, 3,
I can't do it.
2,
I can't do it.
1.
I can't do it.
Whisper it.
John.